Hey class, I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to learn about our geometry, in particular our lines and shapes. So we're going to start off with 4 lines right here. So our first one is going to be just this. Do you guys know what this is? This is called a point. It can be labeled point A, point B. A point is a location in space that has no length or width. So this right here is our point. Moving on, this is a line that goes on forever in each direction. This line keeps going. This is just a line. Our next one is, we have an end point here, and then it goes on forever in this direction. This arrow means that it just keeps going. So if it has an end point and it keeps going in one direction, that is going to be called our ray. Next one, our last one for right now, is a line that has 2 endpoints. A line that has 2 endpoints. This marker could be an example. It has an endpoint at the cap and an endpoint at the back of it. This is called a line segment. So remember, we have a point, we have a line that's points that on a line that keeps going on forever. So our point, our line, our ray, which has 1 endpoint and then keeps going on in that direction, and then our line segment, which has 2 endpoints. To label these would look like this. Point, you can label point A. That would be point A. If this was A, B, this would be line A, B. If you have a point here, this would be, let's say C, D. The way you label that would be C, D. C would be the end point, and then D is towards the end that keeps going. And their line segment would just be a little line, no arrows. And let's see, this is E, F. So this would be line segment, E, F. All right. Point, line, ray, line segment. All right. Remember, our line has 2 arrows at the end. It keeps on going forever. Our line segment is ended with 2 endpoints, and our ray has 1 endpoint, and then one side keeps going. So I drew a little example here. Which 2 letters would represent a ray? So remember, an endpoint and 1 line that keeps going forever. All right, example is A, endpoint F. A, F is a ray. Which one can you tell me is a line segment? Has 2 endpoints. So that means there's no arrows at the end. All right, the line segment I see would be A, B. And the last one is a line. Who can find me a line and which points are on that line? Z, D. Line Z, D. All right, so there's our examples. All right, the next 2 we're going to go over is this right here. Can anyone tell me what this is? This is an angle. Now there's different types of angles which we're going to get into on Thursday. Our next one is, what is this pointing to? This is pointing to this specific point on an angle. This is called a vertex. So we look back, an angle is 2 rays endpoint, line that continues on, endpoint, line that continues on. So this is two rays that share the same endpoint. And the vertex is where two rays meet. So they meet in the corner or where it makes the angle. All right, up next is our three types of lines. So here's our first one. This is two lines that cross each other that share one of the same points. These are called intersecting lines. All right, so these cross that share the same point. So they go this way, intersecting lines. Our next set of lines, where they meet, it forms right angles in each corner. So when they meet, they form right angles. These are called perpendicular lines. So remember, intersecting lines, they meet at one point. When they form right angles, they are called perpendicular. Intersecting, perpendicular. Now the next two set of lines never cross. These two lines will never meet each other. They stay the same distance apart. They are called parallel lines. Parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines. All right, now we're going to move on to our geometry shapes. Our first one is a three-sided shape. So if I was to draw a shape with three sides, 1, 2, 3, what would the name of this shape be? A three-sided shape is called a triangle. All right, moving on. A four-sided shape. So a four-sided shape, you can see this as a square or a rectangle. The name for a four-sided shape is a quadrilateral. And our last one, or next one, is our five-sided shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called our pentagon. All right. So remember, three sides is a triangle, four sides is a quadrilateral, five sides is a pentagon. All right, the next three we have is six-sided, seven-sided, and eight-sided. Our six-sided would look just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six-sided figure is going to be our hexagon. Our six sides, hexagon. All right, our next one is, oops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Seven sides. Seven-sided figure, this is new to some of you, will be called a heptagon. And our last one, I'm going to change up the color because it might relate to some of you. This is a red sign you might see. And it's going to be eight-sided. 8-sided figure, 8 sides. Some of you might remember it because it says stop. A stop sign is this figure. This is called a octagon. All right, so our 6 sides is a hexagon. 7 sides is a heptagon, and 8 sides is a octagon. All right, now that we learned about our geometry, Google Slides for today.